we had very specific goals when we came together on day one. And we just reiterated them in the locker room. The first one was we wanted to have the best chemistry with each other, the best family atmosphere. They wanted to create that culture. And we said, check, that was created. The second one was they wrote down they wanted to be the best defensive team in the league. Check, that was done. The third one was they wanted to be A10 champions. Check, that one was done. And then we won't speak the fourth yet. We're going to enjoy this. And then we have the fourth in our sights. And so I've never been prouder of a team than I am of this one, because whether we win or whether we lose, we do it together. There is no jealousy, there is no envy, there is no blaming. They are truly a team. And we've had the highest of highs this week, obviously, and we've had the lowest of lows, but no matter what, they've stuck together and they believe in each other. And so that's what I'm most proud of, is the culture we've created. It's why we're sitting here as A10, I believe co-A10 champions. And so I'm just so proud of their resiliency. We've had a very tough week, starting with the blizzard, it's just been a very, very tough week for them. And we've tried to be as fluid. They handle things very well, but it's hard to play games when you don't practice and you have to travel. And so, coming back home to be able to come to the Ryan Center and get back to us and prepare the way we prepare and go out and execute the way we did in front of our great crowd, great fans. There's nothing more satisfying as a coach to have the confetti fall and to cut down nets with this group of young women, and I've never been prouder.
Open up for questions.
Coach, with it obviously being first regular season championship since 2023 and all the seasons in between, and this season especially, what does this mean to you and the team as a whole and all the hard work that you've put in?
We talked about day one of how hard they've worked and everything we've done, not just on the court, in the classroom, in the community, with our fan base. They're just incredible student athletes that give, and it's what makes us successful, is their service to everyone around them. But to get to in the past 5 years, I told them you don't celebrate championships very much unless you're UConn or South Carolina. But you have to, you really have to soak it in and enjoy it. And you look back, and that's where all that hard work was worth it. If it was easy, everyone would do it. And it was not easy this year. We had to really work, and we had a lot of new faces. A lot of new people came here to win a championship. That's when I had them on the phone. They said, I want to come to Rhode Island to win a championship. It's why they chose us. And so to be able to give that to them and to our senior class, it just means it means everything to our coaching staff.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Question for Coach and Ines. What is it about this team that sets it apart from previous years?
I definitely think that it's coming from our first goal. I think it's all about chemistry, because I do believe that the past 4 years, we have talented team, we have talented player, but I think it's also how we can put all the pieces of the puzzle all together. And I think this year that's what we are going to do since day one.
I'll agree with Ines's comments. I mean, I talk about this all the time. They're very selfless. There is no ego, whether you play 1 minute, no minutes, who's the leading scorer, who isn't. All they care about is winning. And when you have a group like that 21 assists today, they were sharing the ball in a championship game. It wasn't one-on-one, that's what makes this team special. They truly are. They're the most selfless group I have ever met, and it's not easy to be selfless. It is not, and we have a collection of a lot of talent. On any given night, it's a new player. And so when award season comes out and all these things come out, sometimes our team's overlooked. We don't always get 3 people on first team. It's crazy, but that's not what's important to this group. What was important is this, not the individual accolades. And so that's what makes this team really, really special. It really does, because as a coach, I don't think people understand how hard it is to find selfless individuals in anything you do. It is really difficult.
Tammi, you mentioned the assist number, the way you shot the ball through 3 quarters, you had 18 assists, 2 turnovers. It's not easy to play that well in a championship situation. Did you get the sense that they would play this well and be this sharp today?
It's funny, today was a day of nothing normalcy. Everything was different. We have a doubleheader on a championship game where I sat in the locker room for 2.5 hours waiting. Everything we do, our normalcy was completely different today. And so the only worry I had in the back of my mind was we're not in our normal routine. So how will they handle that? Besides, I didn't think they felt pressure because I thought our preparation was impeccable this week, the final 2 days. But I was a little bit, the routine may disrupt a little bit. It was like an MTE tournament, 30 minutes to warm up. Everything normal was not normal today. So the way they responded to that was really incredible. In that first quarter, I knew we were good. When they came out and they were locked in defensively, I knew, all right, we're gonna be okay. It was really how we came out of the gates today.
Coach, you and the team have put a lot of effort into creating a sort of culture and really pulling in a large crowd and generating a fan base. After today, what is your message to that fan base?
From my staff, the university, administration, our team, we thank them from the bottom of our hearts because, you know, to come out and support us when we needed them most. The last 2 games, we've had our best crowds. It was unbelievable. And that's Rhody Nation. That's the school, I talk about it all the time, the pride, the school spirit. I saw so many people that went here from like the 1960s, you know, to see everyone come back and enjoy this. And that's Rhody pride. And it just makes the team feels it. They play, they love the crowd. It definitely affects, it's a home court advantage. It definitely affects, I saw some of the freshmen on the other squad kind of look like, oh my God, we play in front of about, 150. And so just a huge thank you for all their support, whether we're at a radio show, whether, we're coming for a game. We have a faithful, and that faithful, I think the first couple, 500, they've never missed since day one, ever. And that's why we go through the crowd, we hug them, we acknowledge them because they're part of our Rhody family. They mean the world to us. So just a huge thank you from our bottom of our hearts.
Palmire, you were a key contributor on offense and defense. So what does that mean to you to be such a key piece to your team's success in this championship?
It felt great. We were just like extra motivated. I think today we wanted like to do great for our crowd, and I just tried my best, trying to be aggressive, to give solutions in offense and in defense, and it felt good.
Coach, take a look back at the 2 losses you guys had. What was happening in those games where you had to make some improvements going forward to the rest of the season?
Our 2 losses in conference, the first being at LaSalle. Again, I thought we were very undisciplined. It was the first game that we couldn't figure how to get out of what we started. And usually we do in the 4th quarter, and we still had a shot. It was a very close game, but everything was undisciplined from how we screen, from how our reads, from how we run the floor, how we get into our offense, our defensive coverages, our ball screen defense was abhorrent. So it was a lack of discipline, it really was. And the Richmond loss obviously came after the blizzard of 2026. It was like COVID. These girls were stuck in the rooms for 3 days. People didn't know we didn't practice. I'd like to see any team try to, and that's not an excuse because Richmond gave it to us. They showed up. It was gonna be a battle even if we played well, the way they shot the ball. But I really would have liked the ability to prep for them and not come them cold out of the rooms after 3 days and go, you're going into one of the hardest places to play, and we kind of do a walkthrough. I'd like to see a football team do that. I'd like to see anyone do that. It's really, really difficult. So I knew, going in, it was going to be a difficult game. We're going to have to shake the rust off, but I had no idea Richmond would shoot the ball the way they did, and we couldn't simulate our coverages like we did in game 1 because we had no prep time to do it at game speed with a scout team. We didn't have a scout team. So that loss, and I told them, for us it was an anomaly. Yes, Richmond whooped us and we gave them credit because they were ready for us. but I also would have loved to seen us full throttle with good prep time. And then, in between the wins, Fordham and this one, obviously we executed at home. We did what we needed to do, but particularly today, they did not play around defensively. They made the statement, our defense generated our offense, and once we got that 15-point lead, it pretty much was over. And so just again, really, really proud of the defensive effort at home to close it out. We got back to everything we do, and we also shot the ball well, which was good to see.
Coach, you mentioned co-champions with George Mason, but you're entering as the tournament as the #1 seed. Just how important is it being the top seed team in the tournament?
I'm not a rocket scientist, but I do believe Mason and Richmond are in the same bracket. So it's really important to try to get in an opposite bracket when you have two really good teams. You got to face off against, one of those two teams. So we wanted the #1 seed. We really did. So this not only to win a championship, that was #1, but putting yourself in the best position humanly possible to win an A10 tourney championship. So it was key to get that #1 seed going in. And I also want to say congratulations to George Mason, to Vanessa and her squad. I think they're a tremendous team. I think they had a really, really great season as well. And it doesn't, I would have loved to win it outright. I know my players would have, but you got to tip your hats to them as well. Excellent team. And if you're going to share it with anyone, you'd share it with George Mason and Richmond.
Ines, in 2022, the last time you all won, you were a freshman playing under Maya Torre and Say Lassiter. Now, fast forward to today, you're one of the leaders on this team. Just kind of talk about the journey that you've had as a player in your 4 years here with the program.
I definitely think that's a big journey, like with up, downs, some injuries, but I definitely think that I grew so much these past 3 years, and just like playing again like a championship game at home, like just like some memories from my freshman year, and just know that now I'm in the position that I need to lead the team, like I'm one of the leader of this team, and I need to like do what all the player did for me my freshman year. So it's just like a lot of pride, and I'm just grateful for just have had this opportunity to play with these girls and the coaching staff.
From your coach, Ines, what is something that you think is going to be one of your biggest focuses going into tournament play for each aspect of, from the player to the coach perspective?
I think going into the tournament, we gotta learn like from the last 2 weeks. We had a lot of adversity, and today we played very good, but we gotta like keep going and keep doing the same. I mean, it's gonna be tough for everybody. Probably 3 games in 3 days, so just we gotta push through until the end and play together like we've been doing.
Yeah, I mean, like what we've been doing is focus like one game at a time. So just like focus on us, get some rest, and be ready to kick some ass next week.
She learned that from me. Potty mouth. Players, they got to focus on, staying healthy, recovery. We'll do this in the next couple days. They have 2 days off leading in. We'll get them a lot of recovery. We have different modalities, cryo chambers, some different things we'll do for them. But from a coaching perspective is you tell them to play, and it's one game at a time. From a coaching perspective, you got to really balance like the legs, know when to sub, know when the game is in duly in hand, how to save legs for the next game. We'll do all that. Their job is to show up and be us, execute our game plan with discipline and ferocity for 40 minutes. And then our job is to manage them, their health, their minutes, things of that nature. And so, but you gotta win, it's one game at a time. So you gotta win the first game, then you gotta win the second game. And then the third game, you take care of when it comes. So, nothing changes for them. It's one game at a time, focus, execute, then we move on to the next game.
Tammi, there are a lot of people who got pieces of that net who work on that ladder. I wonder why it might have been so important to you in the program to share in that so much.
We talk about, and a lot of people talk about family and culture, but again, what makes this place, URI, so very special is it truly is family. From administration, everyone knows everyone's name here. administration, it doesn't matter. Every department here is a part of us. And then you look at our managers. Everyone who touches our program, they give so much. Our managers are incredible. They're there every day. Student athletes. These are student athletes. Our managers, they put the same amount of time in as our players. They have to be at every practice. They have to go on the road. They have to miss class. They have to do all of that. Our scout guys are incredible. Same thing. If we didn't have our scout guys, we don't prepare. I can't run them in scout. It takes too long and you're ruining their legs. Our scout guys, and you saw some of them crying. I mean, they prepare us. They're invested. They're all in. So it's really important that you acknowledge everyone who contributes, and everyone contributes to a win. Everybody. And that's us. I'm not more important than our last manager or practice player. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. Everyone gets treated equally here and acknowledged for their contributions to what we do. So it was very important. I didn't care if it took 2 hours. I didn't care if there was no pieces left. Everyone was going to get a piece of that net that has been a part of us and contributed this year. And there was still more people. The equipment room couldn't come out. Marketing, Maureen, ticket office, she takes care of my family. Like, there are so many more people that we didn't get to acknowledge that I wish I could, that I will. There'll be boxes of shirts that, most of you are probably going to get with hats, and we got to order more. And so you take care of those people that take care of you. And again, URI is a very, very special place. We're family, and we mean it. It truly is. So that's why everyone climbed the ladder today.
A lot of emotion from you after the game, whether it was doing laps around the court or that final net cut from you. Just as a coach, I know it's about the players and everybody else, but personally, how much does this title mean to you?
As a coach, you always want to win. I'm extremely competitive. I am. But I told myself today, because I had 2.5 hours in the locker room to get ready for this game, I sat there and I looked in the mirror and I told myself, you're going to be a teacher today. You're going to be a mentor. You're going to come out of every huddle and you're going to lead them with a belief that they're champions. They're going to win. And the way that we executed from day one, and everything floods through you as the seconds are ticking away on a clock of the first practice we had, of me getting on the phone with BG, of me getting on the phone with Palmer and her, Ines, who neither one could speak English, and it took an hour just to say, how are you, and are you going to come to Rhode Island? All these things, little images, little flashes of years of cumulation. Yeah, that's the word, right? Yeah. Pours into your heart and your mind. And so it's really, really satisfying. And I said to myself last night when I prayed before I went to sleep, Nez got me really praying and into the Lord, and it's something she's improved in my life. But I said last night that, Lord, if you can, I know you're busy. The only thing I wanted was a championship for these girls. I don't care. You could take anything from me, anything. But I wanted them to feel the confetti, and I wanted them to cut down the nets. That's all I cared about. And I've been thinking about it since the moment I woke up till the first piece of confetti and that buzzer went off. And that's that they got to experience this, and my team and the university. That's all I cared about, and it is the most satisfying thing that I've done this year.
For the players, what does it feel like to win an A10 championship? And I know, and as you've done it once before, but what does it mean for you to win it again, and for Palmire, to win your first one?
I mean, it feels great. It's just, like Coach said, it's crazy because you think about the first summer practices are like, are we going to make it? And now we finally made it. So it's and it's so much so grateful for the practice player, for everybody that is around our team. Even some days it's you have low energy, and the practice player are there, they are ready, they push us. So it's so grateful for everybody, for the organization, and it feels just great to finally made it.
Agree.
And now Palmire, I don't know if you know, but Palmire's boyfriend won one with OKC, so now you can say you got one too. So you're on equal footing. There you go. There you go.
So we have time for one more question for everyone, if we have one. If what does it feel like for you to win the A10 championship?
You know, obviously, I mean, I've won some championships and I've lost some huge games in the Final Four, and I've lost some championships. And you got to go into it knowing, you know, it's the experience. I was ready to compete today. I told them in the huddle, you know, this morning after we had shoot around, we're not losing. I'm not letting you lose today. And, you know, to have that feeling of celebration, there's nothing better. There's nothing better than winning a championship. There really isn't. Other than, you know, maybe having the birth of your baby, which today our strength and conditioning coach is a really, really good day, special day. She gave birth to a healthy baby girl named Phoebe on the day we won a championship. So, you know, it was just a really, really important day. So, you know, there are things when you get married and have your first baby and things of that nature. But if you're an athlete, there's nothing better than winning a championship. And if you're a coach, there's not a better feeling than leading a bunch of girls that deserve to win one to get one. And that's why I feel so great today is they got one.
Awesome. Well, thank you all very much for this coverage all season, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, everybody. Awesome. Thank you.